Hello and welcome to 2D Talk. My name's Jace.
I'm Mark.
And today we're going to be talking about A Bad Mom's Christmas, starring Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, Kathryn Hahn, Cheryl Hines, Christine Baranski, Susan Sarandon, and directed by Scott Moore and John Lucas. Now this movie is about a bunch of unappreciated mothers who at Christmas time are run ragged, and unfortunately their mothers turn up just to make things a million times harder. Mark, what were your thoughts? What were your expectations?
Okay, so I'll start with the expectations. So if the first film I really enjoyed, it was really funny, it was a little bit different. I really enjoyed the whole fact it was kind of three mums just letting loose, going against what society expects of mothers. And I was expecting pretty much the same thing here. And for the most part, I mean, it kind of delivered. I would say this was generally kind of a safe film in the sense that it did the same thing as the first film, just with three extra mums, if you like.
Yeah, and that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not. So if you like the first film, you like this one basically because it's just very much the same thing. Out of the three new mums, if you like, they were funny, they were good, they were nice additions, but I didn't think the film made best use of them for the most part. Because Ruth, who was it Amy's mother?
Yeah.
She played just a very stern, hard woman, didn't she? Very cold.
Yeah.
Which was fine. But then you had Isis, and she was I think she was supposed to be the slightly more crazy mother, wasn't she?
Rebel without a cause kind of thing. Yeah.
And I mean, she was a rebel without a cause. I don't remember a huge amount of funny moments with her. She had a couple of funny moments, but there was no, to me, there was no standout ones. I mean, my favourite new mum was Sandy. And I really would have liked if the film had used her a little bit more because she was kind of the crazy one, wasn't she? You just didn't know what to expect when she was on the screen because she was like really creepy.
Yeah.
And her best scene was when she was secretly in the bedroom watching her daughter and her son-in-law getting on, which was really funny. But then I think that was pretty much the only moment where that happened in the film. If they had more moments in the film where she was just being creepy around the house and like checking up her son-in-law and daughter doing things or go about their business, it would have been a lot funnier.
Yeah, that would have been a lot funnier. I think the thing is with Isis, I don't think she was as funny as her daughter was in the first movie, and you'd expect her to be a lot funnier because she is a crazy rebel without a cause. When it came to Ruth as well, I thought Ruth was a lot more tyrannical than I thought she would be in the movie, and it was a bit off-putting at places. But the thing is, right, this movie, it was funny, but it wasn't as funny. If you add in double the amount of the main cast, you expect it to be doubly as funny. Yeah. But it just wasn't. It was good, and I think that they all did great jobs. Everybody did great jobs, but I just wanted it to be funny. One thing that I will say is that it didn't feel as much of a rush job as I thought the movie would. Obviously coming out a year and a half later, I thought it would be an absolute rush job from start to end, but it didn't feel as rushed as I expected. It still felt rushed, but not as rushed a project as I expected. By the big suits rushing them to get the movie out by Christmas, it was still sloppy, but wasn't as rushed as I thought it would present on screen.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It didn't feel rushed at all. I did from a production values point of view. I think it was fine. I think probably for me at least, the biggest letdown of the film was probably the script and just not all the jokes that I was expecting from the film.
Yeah, definitely.
Because so Isis, as you already brought up, Isis. Yeah, I was expecting Isis to be just a much more pumped up, crazier version of her daughter, Carla. And in the first one, she was off the rails, wasn't she? As I remember Carla to be.
She was freaking hilarious.
And I thought,
and she was still hilarious in this one.
She was still hilarious in this one, and also I think in my view she had the best scene when she was in the spa where she met her boyfriend to be and she was waxing his privates. That for me that was the best. That was the best scene of the whole film. But I think
that was really good.
But was there any other more moments where she was kind of crazy and off the rails, or she was threatening to go off the rails? I mean, at the beginning they went shopping and they got a little bit drunk, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But then I just can't really.
The thing is, I think all the funny bits were shown in the trailer, which I think we're going to have a problem with until the end of time, because obviously it's marketing. You've got to get people in. But if you're going to show really, really good bits of comedy, make all of your movie very comical so that you've got surprises for people. That's what I realized a lot, because in the cinema, when you're sitting there and you've already seen it, there's not as many chuckles from that as that you would get from other things. And one thing about Isis, Susan Sarandon's character, is that I think the movie wanted to make her out like she's a bit of a burnt out roadie, but really, obviously, she needs to become a better person to have contact with her her daughter and her grandson. Yeah. I think they should just have made it a crazy balls to the wall woman that was unapologetic, but then did realise, her life was amazing, but then did realise she wanted to be around her family and maybe take some time out. Yeah. But they kind of just brought her in as a bit of as an absolute mess. I say a bit of a mess, it's a lie. Yeah. As an absolute mess. I didn't really like that. But one thing I will say though, is what do you think? I think the movie came out too early.
Yeah, I thought that during that, because I was sitting there towards the end, because they got the Christmas vibe on towards the end, didn't they? And then, but I was thinking there, I was like, we're just kind of approaching middle of November. I'm not in the Christmas spirit just yet. This feels just a bit, it does feel a bit soon. Yeah, you're right. I was feeling that too.
I think it should have come out in December. Obviously not near Star Wars, because that would absolutely obliterate it.
Yes, absolute suicide.
But maybe December 1st.
I was thinking, what's happening at the beginning of December? What films are coming out?
I mean, we've got The Disaster Artist. Oh, we've got The Shape of Water as well. That's December 1st. So there's no reason. I mean, Disaster Artist is a comedy as well, but there's no reason that couldn't come in there as well. Yeah. Then you've got I, Tonya on the 8th of December. Again, could have gone up against I, Tonya. Yeah. Definitely could have, because I, Tonya is a drama. It's a drama comedy, kind of a dramedy almost-ish, apparently, seems like. But I think that it could have come out then. And obviously, I mean, that is a week before Star Wars, so cannibalizing your box office a week later. So I say December 1st. I don't see why it can come out December 1st. I feel like it definitely came out a bit too early.
Yeah, like it's the biggest problem for me, script, and now we just touched on the timing, just felt a little bit off as
timing of the movie coming out, yeah. And also, one thing it did, even though obviously it's come out too early, personally, as I said, I did get the kind of holiday feeling, the Christmas holiday feeling, but just a bit. Not as much as some of my favourite ones, like Love Actually and all that kind of stuff. Not as much as that, but it did give me that kind of Christmas feeling. But kind of Christmas feeling ain't good enough, okay? For me personally, it ain't good enough. One thing I will say is, I think with what happens at the end of the movie, I think that a bad grandma's New Year's or something like that should happen. I think following these characters, as a spin-off would be really good.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be good. But all in all, I'm going to say, my overall thoughts, is that it felt a little bit rushed. It felt a little bit samey. It didn't up its game. And it makes it feel a bit more corporate-y from that angle. And it was just all right.
Yeah, I think the script could have sat in the script room or whatever for an extra month or two, just work on some proper joke. Because now I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of lots of different ways that they could have better use of the three new characters. Like, for example, with Isis, obviously she didn't know her grandson at all. You could have had a scene, her grandson and Carly together, and she's just asking lots of stupid questions because she has no idea. And that's such an obvious thing. And they just...
I think they should have given him a bigger role. I mean, to be fair, though, he wasn't the greatest of actors. And he sounded Australian for some weird reason. Did you get that? He didn't sound like an American. But if they'd have got a better actor in maybe to be Jackson, Carla's son, then they could have had amazing scenes with him and brought him into it. Susan Sarandon and that character working together and finding out what your grandson or your grandmother are about. That could be really fun as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, you did have one scene with Ruth and her grandkids. But I don't think it was that particularly funny, if I remember. But yeah, they didn't, like I said, I just don't think they did that much with the three characters. They just threw characters in and repeated the first film. It felt kind of like in a Christmas setting.
That's basically it, yeah. So what's your verdict of the movie, Mark?
If you enjoyed the first film, I would recommend you see this film. Would I say pay money to see it in the cinemas? Probably not. If you get it on streaming, I'd check it out at home.
Yeah, I'm going to say no for that as well, which is really sad because I really, really loved the first movie. So guys, what did you think? Did you think it was any good? Would you pay money for it? Let us know. Write down in the comments below.
And check us out on Twitter at 2D Talk Show.
So that's it, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.